your spiritual mazes. Genesis to Revelation, so divine. Flip them scripts, endless grace you'll find. Songs singing sweet, unbroken lines. Hitting that rhythm, wordplay refined. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? Wake up early, the dawn's light shimmers. Spiritual breakfast, soul food dinners. Isaiah's vision, Ezekiel's figures. Walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound. Plowing the word, no mythical ground. Verse after verse, wisdom's bound. Heavenly soundtrack, soul serving sound. Anybody in here blessed? Anybody in here blessed? Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? No shortcuts, all divine routes. Listen to the whispers, no room for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Study the book, change perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the never blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered. Spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ. Flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message. Flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick.
Welcome in, everybody! Welcome in! Got a bit of delay today. Bit of a delay. So, I gotta wait for the sound to catch up so I can see. If the sound is good. Come on, come on. Should be coming in now. Seems a little bit low. Seems a little bit low. Can I change and adjust that at all? No, I'm at max. I'm at max. I'm at max. Okay. Just means I need to face the camera instead of face my phone. That'll probably make it better. All right. I've been having some fun here, working on some new emotes, and also, since I switched from Slobs to OBS, I had not updated my Stream Deck, and I've apparently found out some new things. So I'll show this again later, but check that out. I've got GIFs in there, so check the one out for fish. Like, that'll be hard to miss. And then, tipping the cap to you for the cam. Oh, it finally uploaded. That's what that was. Okay, that's what I was like. Why did that one not end up happening? Okay, now it's there. So, let me switch back. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't change. And animated stuff. Hey, welcome in, Supersonic. Arrived, by the way. Good. So, anyway, working on stuff. Playing with Stream Deck. Finally getting some stuff figured out on... not figured out. But when I opened it up, because I'd previously been on Slobs, it's like I couldn't add anything. I couldn't just, like, change things. It was like, no. It's already selected. So I was like, I got to redo all my icons in the order of things. But I haven't been using it so long, and I like using the really definitive picks, so it's not hard to figure out what I wanted or what I intended. So there's that. So, and going with a different border instead of the animated one. I think the animated one on some level was a bit too much drain on everything that was going on. Like a constant thing playing was causing a lot of, well, I don't know if it's memory problems or bit rate or whatever, but decided to forego that. What's interesting, I want to show you the fish here a minute, which is a I bet that's the moon. I bet that's what it is. I was trying to figure this out earlier, so let me use my button. Yay. So that is not a sunrise there. Okay, that is facing west, so that would be a sunset, and I could see the little dot there about a half hour ago, and I was confused by what it is. I think it's the moon. I think I figured it out. I think it is the moon getting the sunrise reflected off of it. It's pretty gorgeous. It's pretty gorgeous out there. So there you go. Interesting thing that you will not see very often. Artsy Bible Nerd, welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. So are you planning on going to parade, or is that not something that you care about, or something that you would, care about the parade? Because I'm assuming you're celebrating from Sunday. Cat Jam. Okay, let me get this up. There we go. No parade for you? Okay. Yeah, I don't... Well, you're too old for that. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of parades. Well, I don't live by Detroit, and I gave up rooting for Detroit a long time ago. But, if I lived in Detroit and it finally happened, I might be inclined. I might be so inclined to take and go and to do that, but I'm not. So, and I'm not traveling anywhere to go to a parade. To me, I'm like, no, not gonna happen. So, anyway. Oh, I wasn't surprised at all that the Lions lost. Not at all. Nope, no surprise to me. It doesn't matter how good the team is. I mean, they had Barry Sanders. Okay, how did they not win multiple Super Bowls with Barry Sanders? I'm just saying, and then they had Warren Sapp with an amazing defense. And how could they not win? Like the Lions. I hate to say this. I have zero faith in the Lions. Like had I been rooting for, let me just put it this way. If instead of Philadelphia being there, it was the Lions with a 34, I don't know if it was 34-point lead, whatever. With a 35-point lead, I still would not have confidence in the Lions to win. I still would not have confidence in the Lions to win. They have nothing but disappointed me. So that's why I gave up following them. I don't follow much football at all anymore other than college. So All right. So, what I thought we would do today. So, let's get over to. Here's our list of things for Transform Thursdays that we're going to look at. That is how Philly sports fans have felt for a long time. Yeah. I understand that. But Red Wings fan, my daughter's trying to get me to go to an outdoor game in Columbus for the Red Wings. And I'm like, but it's outside. And I'm old. And I want to sit in the cold. But, your daughter wants to spend time with you. So maybe it'll happen. We'll see. We'll see if I say yes to it. But I thought, I was looking through my list here. And I'm like, okay, where did I end up with finding Celebration? Not that it's not in here. I just was looking going, oh, it's not on the list of 14 that was here. Where did I come up with it from? I mean, I know I would say, I think it is and can be considered a spiritual discipline. I must have got it from another list because I wasn't trying to be exhaustive. I was just trying to take a list to start with. So I think with in light of thinking about Streamiversary and affiliate anniversaries, the idea of celebration is, I think, what we're going to do today. So I'm going to cut and paste, and we're going to look at celebration today. Why did I do it so small? There we go. We're going to look at celebration today. Now, that might sound like a weird thing to think about as a spiritual discipline. I don't think it is. I don't think it's weird. Let me see if I've looked it up in. Oh, that's weird. This is my problem at times. I go to hit the A and I end up hitting the caps button instead. I can't type worth a toot. Oh, okay, so that does work this way. Let me click New Testament a minute. Oh, I hadn't thought about that one. Oh, yes, that's a great one. Okay, so we'll start in the Old Testament. Worth a toot. Hey, Onesimus, my buddy. How you doing, friend? How you doing? Hey, yeah, we need to catch up. I know you're West Coast and I'm up early. Now you are super up early, my friend. Oh, I need to change modes here to dark mode so that you can see better. Sorry about that. It also cuts down on reflection off my glasses, which is a good thing. And I would stay in dark mode, except the boundaries don't show up well all the time between things. Like here, if I go to the chart, I can barely see the lines between segments here. It's not defined enough. Now, if I square one, it does. So at times, the coloration of things in dark mode is, I can't tell the difference between things to know where I'm supposed to click buttons sometimes. So it's really hard to stay in dark mode all the time. But we're going to look at celebration and celebrating. I looked over here. What's the first one listed here? Is there one before, or is it started? Yeah, I thought 23, 12. Yes. Yeah, so 12 is where they start. Oh, 10 actually. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. They start with this one, then they go 12. Okay, now I see it. Okay. So if I click on this, does it does? Yay. Okay. I'm trying a new feature here, everybody. I'm trying a new feature. So I'm in that Bible and I did a word search. I've not done this one before. The song Celebrate Good Times was written after he read. Was it really? Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. I was not aware of that. I do like that. I do like that song. I do like that song. Okay. Verse 41. Okay, but I'm going to back up. So, on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you gather in the produce of the land, you must celebrate a festival of the Lord for 7 days. Boom. Okay, now, I know I'm looking, well, actually, you know what? I'm not totally looking at spiritual disciplines. I'm looking at living a transformational life. You know, how do you live out your faith? How do you transform your faith? One of the ways you do that is to celebrate. You must celebrate a pilgrimage festival of the Lord for 7 days. I love this idea, and I have no idea how to do it in real life, okay? Other than from the standpoint of going on vacation is the closest I get to celebrating for 7 days. Excuse me, I got to turn the heater on my feet. It's cold outside, and I'm feeling it now on my feet from the cement. Well, actually, I got a layer below there, but it's still cold in the bottom foot of the basement. So, you must celebrate. Okay, let's go look at the Hebrew here. Leviticus 23. And what verse were we in? We're 40, oh no, 39. We backed up to 39. 39. There we go. Oh, anyway, Onesimus, I'm trying to figure out a time to do some other streaming later in the day. Yeah, I got a feeder heater. Yes, I got a feeder heater. It's a little flat board. Here, let me show you. It's a panel that folds up, and then you can unfold it. And so then you unfold it so it's a little accordion, and you can put it right around your feet under your desk. And if it happens to fall over so that it's all on top each other, it has a sensor in there that automatically turns the heater off so it does not overheat or it does not heat whatever it falls on. Like, you know, if it was on carpet or something and catch it on fire. Yeah, it's kind of like a folding out heating pad that, yeah, it just surrounds my feet on the side and in front and warms my feet and legs. I had thought about doing radiant floor heat, but the cost right now was prohibitive for me. Okay. The 15th day of the 7th month, you must gather the fruit of the land. You shall keep a feast of the Lord 7 days, and on the first day you shall be a Sabbath. On the 8th day it shall be a Sabbath. Okay, feast, festival, hag. What you doing, Wywis? Sorry, I heard a splash behind me. But Onesimus, what I was going to ask you is there for like a day of the week if I did? For me, like if I did a stream at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., or 8 p.m. Eastern, would there be a day of the week that would work best for you? Because I'm looking at doing some new streaming in the next month. Always smile. Hey, this is the first time chat. I'm surprised. I thought you had been here. Anyway, welcome in. Always Smile. I see you around. Glad to have you here. Okay, Hog.
Strong's H2282. Hog.
Okay, feast, sacrificed, or feast days. Where's the first use is Exodus 10. We must hold a feast unto the Lord. It shall keep a feast. Okay, I like the celebration here that they're using. And it looks like the NIV was using that as well. Yeah, you're not, as you know, your sleeping patterns are all over the place. Okay. I was just trying to think if there was a day of the week, though, that would be more reliable, was my thought, to narrow it down. I'm thinking Tuesdays or Thursdays is where I'm thinking. But then again, maybe I want to do 2 days in a row. And if I do, it might be Monday, Tuesday. I don't know. Always Smile. I'm not usually home at this time, but you're late for work, so I thought I would get some encouragement from God's word from you. Oh, thank you, friend. I'd watch you when I can if you'd stream from the moon. No plans to stream from the moon. None whatsoever. But I love the encouragement there. Okay, so you must celebrate a pilgrimage feast of the Lord for 7 days. Like, has your church ever, or let me just put it this way, has your family ever celebrated something for 7 days? I'm just totally fascinated by this idea of a celebration for multiple days. And when we get into the New Testament times, they're talking about at the wedding feast, it was the 3rd day of the feast or something like that. Like a wedding that goes like, can you imagine like the cost of the food for everybody at the party? Like you're inviting everybody to the party and the party goes on for days? This is a command to celebrate. So celebration needs to be a part of our life of worship. Celebration needs to be a part of our life of faith. Okay, let's keep reading what it says here in this one. On the 1st day is a complete rest, and on the 8th day is a complete rest. So, the day that you start, you just I'm gonna use my language. You just lounge around all day. You just lounge around all day, relaxing, and then on the 8th day, it's a day of recuperation, and you lounge around recuperating from all the partying. I mean, isn't that a beautiful image of celebrating what God does? Like, I shall party, but I shall rest before I party, and I have partied, and so I shall rest because I have partied. Onesimus, if my family celebrated 7 days, we would end up in a big argument. Very likely. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that in a lot of families, which might just be a reason to not invite everybody. Maybe a reason to not invite everybody. On the 1st day, you must take yourselves branches from majestic trees, not piddly trees, not little pipsqueak trees. The best trees, the magnificent trees, the most wonderful trees. Sorry, at times my brain just likes the way that Trump does that. I'm not endorsing him, nor would I endorse any president ever. Just not who I am. Okay. Fruit of the majestic trees, but the following terms and verses define what is meant by this expression. The extensive remarks of the celebration of the festival in history and tradition. You can go look here. Okay. You must use the branches of majestic trees, palm branches, branches of leafy trees, and willows of the brook. You must rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days. So you're getting branches and you are celebrating for 7 days. You for sure went Trump there. That was good. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I just like the mannerism, and I'm poking fun of mannerisms as I do with anyone. So, if you're old enough, you might get this one. So one of the things when I was younger, I loved comedians that did voices. So I've spent lots of time at times trying to mimic voices. And I loved Saturday Night Live when they would do political figures. 1,000 points of light wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. 1,000 points of light. If you're old enough to know that one, yeah. A new world order. You don't know that one? You don't know that one, Supersonic? It's Dana Carvey doing the first President Bush. I guess the closest of family celebration together for days would be when some family plan a vacation, cruise, or renting a place together. Yeah, maybe the idea of like a cruise, I've done that, but we don't spend the whole day celebrating together. But if you rented a place together, that kind of hits it like that. Thinking of that, years ago, we rented an RV and we drove from Iowa to Washington, D.C. With the kids. And we stopped in Michigan to visit family, and we stopped in Pennsylvania to visit family, and then we headed on down to D.C., and we were there for a while, and then we went down to Virginia Beach, North Carolina, and visited family, and then we came back. And I did end up needing to rent the RV for a month in order to get enough miles for the length, for the distance we were driving, because they set, like, here's a week of vacation, here's a week that you rent it for, and here's how many miles you get for that week. So in order to get enough miles to drive to D.C. and back, I had to rent it for a month to get enough miles. So it was kind of fun because we could pick it up ahead of time, slowly pack everything we wanted to in the RV, and then take our time going and coming back. I think we actually were on vacation for like 2 weeks. So, but that was, yeah. So there was that kind of rolling celebration with family, but it wasn't it was vacation. It wasn't celebration. So, and here the focus is celebrating God and God's provision because, well, let's keep going. You must celebrate it as a pilgrimage festival. So I guess an RV is a pilgrimage festival. Well, I hadn't thought of it. Or a cruise could be a pilgrimage festival to the Lord for 7 days in the year. This is a perpetual statute throughout your generations. You must celebrate it in the 7th month. You must live in temporary shelters for 7 days. Every native citizen in Israel must live in shelters so that your future generations may know that I made the Israelites live in shelters when I brought them up out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. I'm on my way. God bless you all. Thank you I want to say as always. Always smile 365 for the smiles and for dropping in today. Have a blessed day, friend. Have a blessed day. So the idea there of an RV trip, a road trip, of a pilgrimage, that's, wow, I hadn't thought about that before. Yeah, Lucis. So thanks for that thought, putting that in my head there. Of connecting that with an ongoing pilgrimage that you could do. Now, I have wanted to do a pilgrimage in the Holy Land. Have not had that happen. I want to say at this point I have planned and started planning and preparations for a trip to Israel 4 times. And it's never got fully to the point of getting everything booked and starting to pay for things. Something has always intervened, and then it gets put on hold, and then it doesn't get picked up, and then I try it again with another group of people, and the same thing happens. So, yeah, or some youth groups go away to camp for a couple of days a week. Yeah. But I was thinking with the RV, it is the pilgrimage kind of thing. It is a pilgrimage kind of a thing. So wherein the journey is part of it. But even if you're doing that, so if you are pilgrimaging there, You then rest after the pilgrimage there, then you party, then you rest prior to the pilgrimage back home. The other thing is the RV is a temporary shelter. So an RV pilgrimage is pretty close to how we might think about this. Not the same as their temporary shelters. Actually doing a tent might be closer to actually doing it. But I think you get the idea. All right, that was fun. I didn't expect that one. Okay, let's go back. Will it go back? I have to look it up again. Okay. So that was Leviticus. That was about a pilgrimage festival. Let's look at Exodus. Let's look at Exodus. I feel like it's going to be one of those days where my words are not coming out of my mouth. Okay. So this is a description of Passover. So we've got, I will pass through the land, and I will attack all the firstborn. And let's pick it up on verse 14 here. This will become a memorial for you, and you will celebrate it as a festival to the Lord. You will celebrate it perpetually as a lasting ordinance. For 7 days you must eat bread made without yeast. Surely on the first day you must put away yeast from your house, because anyone who eats bread with yeast from the first day to the seventh day will be cut off from Israel. Okay, so this is an interesting juxtaposition here. God speaks of himself as cutting off a person from among the Israelites. The rabbis mentioned premature death and childlessness as possible judgments in such cases. One who deliberately excludes himself from the religious community of Israel cannot be a beneficiary of covenant blessing. So, by being cut off, you have it doesn't mean cut off automatically of exclusion from the people, but cut off in the cut off from the blessings. So, in the same way, a person in a family might be disowned or disinherited. You don't receive the blessings from being a part of the family, but your biology is still such that you're part of it. You still may dwell within the realm of the family. Okay, that's an interesting thought. It's common formula in the law for divine punishment. Here in the sequence of ideas that someone might eat bread with yeast, the result is that the soul, the verb in feminine, will be cut off. The verb is the equivalent of the imperfect tense due to the construct. Okay, yes. Imperfect of possibility may be cut off. Fits better perhaps than specific future. Okay. So this is so celebration is so important that lack of celebrating risks having the blessings of God. So if you do not, just check this out. If you do not spend the time celebrating a festival, remembering the blessings that God has bestowed on you, you risk being cut off from future blessings. That's pretty cool. Hey, I'm watching you people. Hope all is well. May I pick your brain? Absolutely. Absolutely. What cookies did I get? Ooh, a lemon scone. Ooh, it's iced lemon scone. Ooh, that sounds good. I read this in a Devo yesterday. The book of Isaiah is the first of 5 books referred to as the major prophets, so named because of their length, not importance. The other major prophets are Jeremiah, Lamentation, Ezekiel, and Daniel. Why is Lamentation considered a major prophet? If it's not actually naming said prophet? Am I thinking too hard? Let's just go look. I don't think I've ever heard Lamentations listed as major prophet. So and if I could spell, that's always helpful. Wow. Yeah. Here it does. It does list. I've not seen. And my only thought would be in the. Okay. I'm wondering if let me look here. Yeah, here it's not listing Lamentations. There are four major prophets. So this is Bible Study Tools, does not list Lamentations there. My only thought of why, yeah, here it doesn't either. The major prophets from Bible.org does not list Lamentations. Okay. My thought of, I just wanted to check that out a second. My thought of why they're including Lamentations as one of the major prophets is because Lamentation is written by Jeremiah. So if Jeremiah is a major prophet, his second book would be included as well. So it would be like saying, which books are written by Jesus' 12 apostles, and you would say Matthew, John, and you'd skip Matthew and Mark. And then you'd go to 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, depending on how you view those things, and Revelation. So it depends on how you're naming things. So if you want to say, oh, well, I have to name everything listed by that person included, but if I just say the Gospels, I differentiate it differently. I wondered if there was, for instance, how, and this is a question for Altus Rebbe, because I know that the order of the books in Hebrew Bible is going to be different. Hey, Galaxy, thanks for the lurk, friend. Is going to be different from the order in an English Bible. They categorize their sections differently. We go Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, and I think they have Ruth somewhere else in that order. I don't remember. But it'd be kind of connected in that same way was the other possibility if it has to do with how the Old Testament is categorized by Jewish people. But, yeah, that'd be my guess. Why they're putting Lamentation there is because Jeremiah wrote it, and Jeremiah is a major prophet. And you are correct in it's major because of the length of the writing, not because of the importance. Okay. So a memorial, so you are to remember this. This is an ongoing memorial thing that you have. Days of remembrance. How do you remember? You remember by not having yeast. What else do you remember by? On the first day, there will be a holy convocation. Okay, so unlike the other festival, which is rest on the first day, this refers to an assembly of the people at the sanctuary for religious purposes. The word convocation implies that the people were called together, and Numbers 10:2 indicates they were called together by trumpets. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Yeah, it makes sense now? Yeah, no worries. I would have been confused. I was confused when you said that too to begin with. Like, what? What? Wait? So, yep, I understand. I had the same reaction. You must do no work of any kind on that day. Only what every person will eat. Sorry. Work of any kind on them. Only what every person will eat, that alone will be prepared for you. So you can make food, that's it. Although when they do Sabbath, they're usually preparing it the day before. So, not sure. So you will keep the festival of unleavened bread, because on this very day I brought your regiment out of the land of Egypt, and so you must keep this day perpetually as a lasting ordinance in the first month on the 14th day of the month in the evening. You will eat bread made without yeast until the 21st day of the month in the evening. I suddenly want to read this as a game show announcer. For 7 days yeast must not be found in the house, for whoever eats what is made with yeast, that person will be cut off from the community of Israel, whether a resident foreigner or one born in the land. You will not eat anything made with yeast in all the places where you live. You must eat bread without yeast. So, the festival of unleavened bread overlaps with the festival of Passover. So you are remembering eating and traveling in a hurry without having anything in there. Now we're going to get a second part here. Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel and told them, go and select for yourself a lamb or a young... Okay, he's going to go over the Passover. Is this... I don't think I need to go through all of that. I want to get to the celebration part. Okay, maybe that's elsewhere. Let's go back. Okay, we'll jump to Exodus 23, which should be summarizing all of the... So we're going to add a third festival in here, which we didn't mention yet. So, 3 times in a year you must make a pilgrimage feast to me. You are to observe the feast of unleavened bread 7 days. You must eat bread without yeast, as I commanded you at the appointed time at the month of Abib. For at that time you came out of Egypt. No one must appear before me empty-handed. Offered a glass of blueberries, I'll take it. Yeah, blueberries are pretty darn awesome. Adds whipped cream? Oh, okay. I just want the blueberries. That's all I want. You are to observe the feast of harvest, the first fruits. We didn't get this one. The first fruits of the labors that you have sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering at the end of the year. Okay, so we have the first fruits and then ingathering, which will be called booths later. Is that what the footnote's going to tell me? I'm not going to look it up. When you gathered in the harvest out of the fields, at 3 times in the year, your males will appear before the sovereign Lord. You must not offer the blood of my sacrifice with bread containing yeast. The fat of my festival sacrifice must not remain until morning. So if you've got a sacrifice there, it's got to be burned up, or it's got to be eaten by morning. And there's portions, depending upon which one you're at, of who eats what and what is burned. The first fruits of your soil must be brought to the house of the Lord your God. So those who look at, and we just looked at Cain and Abel and going, well, Cain's sacrifice was bad because it was of the ground. This passage right here and others talk about the first fruits of the soil must be brought to God. So, yeah, it can't be for that reason. You must not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. Okay, this one seems out of context in some level. But of this verse, on separating life and death, an explanation of some biblical laws. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. A rendering of kid in milk, where the command is repeated. Okay. So you gave me a bunch of references. You didn't explain anything. Okay. But by the way, this is why if you're eating kosher, you can't have a cheeseburger. Is from this rule here. Is the cheese and the animal. So the product of the animal and the animal. You cannot combine the product of the animal and the animal. So you cannot have a cheeseburger. It's not kosher to have cheese on a burger. Yes, no explanation. Yeah, all of this, hey, here's explanations. Here's links to people that talk about it, but we're not going to spend time telling you anything. And maybe they did it elsewhere, and that's why they're just here at blah, 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 or 3426, where the command is repeated. So, I don't have a fully good explanation of this. There is some thought of this was a practice of pagans around them, possibly of doing this, and it would have possibly been that the young goat would be alive when you were boiling it. So you would put it in alive, the same way that you would cook lobster. If you don't know that, you don't put the lobster in and then bring it to a boil. You bring the water to a boil and then drop a lobster in. So that being the thought here is one of the explanations I've seen or heard. But it has no explanation of why. But we just talked about first fruits, okay? And one of the other things that happens is when they're offering and setting up the sanctuary, that Aaron's sons offer strange fire. There's a certain way they're supposed to do things, and they go do their own thing. Okay, so this could be a prohibition on something that other cultures around them may have done as a celebration of first fruits. So how do you celebrate first fruits? You take the young goat that was just born and you boil it in the mom's milk. There's your first fruits, and you take the milk because they go together in some way. So this could be a prohibition of something that others are celebrating and saying, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not what I want. Okay. So there we have the 3 different festivals that are going on. 3 different festivals. Ooh. Add command. Awesome. Oh, Nisimus. DM me what command you would like. DM me what command you would like, what you want the command to be, ! Onesimus Prime, or it could be Prime, or it could be whatever you want, just giving you ideas, and then what the command will do or say. So yeah, DM me. I've only had that happen one other time, or 2 other times I should say, with cookies and with fruit, and then I'm watching you people wanted everyone else to share in those. That's why there's the little announcement that tells you that you can use those commands. So it's up to you if you want the command secretive or if you want it to be public knowledge. I have a whole bunch of hidden commands, which I like the hidden commands, because then it gives people the incentive to just try random things, which also then gives me ideas to make new commands based on their suggestions or their attempts to find commands. Lucis, I'm going to say, I'm watching, says to Lucis. I went to Jewish Community Center where they sold pizza in the cafeteria. First time I heard of no pepperoni pizza for religious reasons. The cheese pizza was pretty tasty, though. That sounds chaotic. What's wrong with chaos? What's wrong with a little chaos in your life? But yeah, that would be another reason. Actually, I just watched. So there's this guy on YouTube. Can't remember what his name is. But I watch him because he does like these dig into videos about like history of something. It can be a tad distracting. Yeah, but most people give up. They don't just continually do that for a long time. But you're right, it can be. I don't deny that. So they, what was I saying? Oh, so anyway, he finally did one on pizza. That's why I was thinking, because you mentioned pizza. And you may have heard the story that there's some guy in New York City in 1905 that's the first one to have a pizzeria. And in his video, he talks to people who have studied pizza, and it goes back into the 1880s when Italian immigrants from southern Italy came in to the United States, and several of them were doing very similar things. And there's an ad in a newspaper in the 1880s for pizza that he's found that predates the 1905 thing. But he also talks about what it was as far as in Italy, and then when they get to the United States, how there are different things within the local area of what your water is and what your fruits and vegetables are and how you could make the pizza. And so then it evolves into an American thing. What is interesting was that not only was New York one of the centers for where pizza was, developed, and I knew Detroit was as well. Not a lot of people outside of Michigan. No, Detroit was as well. But I did not know that New Haven, Connecticut was also a center of pizza. And there's a whole New Haven style of pizza that I've never heard of. So now I need to. Now I need to know that. It didn't go away. I moved it, and I told you I was moving it, and so I thought you would be able to use it. I'm watching. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's a work in progress with the new emotes, so no worries on that. We'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, so we got the new. Oh, that's right. We're gonna go to Esther. There you go. There you go. You've got it. Yeah. So I've made it a specialty. Only certain things. It didn't show up at first? Okay. Well, you've got it now. You've got it now. Okay, so we're going to go to Esther. We studied Esther at the end of last year, something like that. Okay. So Mordecai writes these matters down. So if you don't remember, in Esther, there is the... Yeah, and really... All I wanted to make sure was that you were able to use it. I'm watching. If no one else uses it, that's okay. And it's one you can't lose. It's one you can't lose. It's the cumulative. I've never thought of that, which is cool. I like it. So in the book of Esther, Haman is trying to annihilate the Jews because of Mordecai. Esther saves the day, and now afterwards... we're going to have a celebration based on the remembrance of these things. So that is one of the things that we see with the establishment of the Passover and the unleavened bread is a remembrance of what God did. The living in booths, a remembrance of what God did. The festival of first fruits, not so much what God did in the past, but what God just did for you and continues to do every year. Now we're going to go to another festival. Mordecai wrote these matters down and sent a letter to all the Jews who were throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus. It almost sounds like King Rhinoceros. Both near and far, to have them observe the 14th day and the 15th day of the month of Adar each year at the time when the Jews gave themselves rest from their enemies. The month. The month. Oh, I think the mouth. That was a weird. I knew that was wrong. The month when their trouble was turned into happiness, and their mourning to a holiday. Those were to be days of banqueting, happiness, sending gifts to each other, and providing for the poor. I love this connection. Okay? So, if you want to think about the fact that people will make an argument that says there is no Christmas, there is no call to celebrate Christmas in the New Testament. Well, if we only read the book of Esther and Mordecai didn't write this at the end and instruct people to celebrate and remember, like the whole point of remembering what God has done and celebrating what God has done is what we see throughout Scripture. Here, in the days of celebrating God's deliverance, it's for banqueting, for happiness, for sending gifts to each other, for providing to the poor. I can't think of a better description of what I think we should be doing around Christmas. We do banqueting, we have happiness, we send gifts to each other, and we provide for the poor. The Salvation Army bell ringers are out there. There's other places and things that we do thinking about and providing for the poor. So, to me, that makes total sense that we would adopt this practice and apply it to other things. So the Jews committed themselves to continuing what they had begun and do. We began to do and to what Mordecai had written them. For Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the enemy of the Jews, had devised plans. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. There we're going to get the name of it. He devised plans against the Jews to destroy them. He had cast the pur, that is the lot, and ordered to afflict and destroy them. But when the matter came to the king's attention, the king gave written orders to Haman that Haman's evil intentions that had been devised against the Jews shall fall on his own head. He and his sons were hanged at the gallows. For this reason, the days are known as Purim, after the name of the purr. So, if you have two cats that are purring, is that a Purim? Sorry. Therefore, because the account found in the letter and what they had faced in regard and what had happened to them, the Jews established a binding on themselves, their descendants, and all who joined their company, that they should observe these 2 days without fail, just as is written at the appropriate time on an annual basis. These days were to be remembered and celebrated in every generation, in every family, every province, every city. The Jews were not to fail to observe these days of Purim. The remembrance of them was not to cease among their descendants. Okay. We could read more of it, but interesting. This is a 2-day celebration. The others we've looked at were 7-day celebrations. All right, let me get caught up on anything in chat. Yes, this is how Christmas should be celebrated. Exactly. I miss doing outreach on Christmas and leading up to it. Yeah, well, even think about one way that you can do outreach is caroling, too. I mean, we don't always think of it that way, but on some level, Christmas caroling, like, I did this so often with different youth groups. You go to the shut-ins, and if they're in a home, you not only sing to the shut-in that you know from your church or family, you would go through the whole of the nursing home and singing and bringing joy. And even some churches I was at, we went door to door driving around town to all of our shut-ins to sing. Onesimus, for debate's sake, the argument is that we are celebrating on pagan days. But okay. But the if you actually go look into the when those pagan days were first celebrated, for instance, Saturnalia is not celebrated until, I want to say, the 3rd or 5th century is the first time that there is evidence of Saturnalia being celebrated. So you can say that Saturnalia was actually trying to co-opt the Christian holiday. You can look that there's the possibility that it's that. If you actually go look at the evidence for Christmas Day, it may actually be the other way around, that the pagans were trying to co-opt the Christian celebration. That aside, taking something and redeeming it for good, okay? So it's the same argument of we shouldn't have a guitar in the church because a guitar was not created to worship God. We shouldn't have a piano because it started in the bar hall. We shouldn't have an organ, and I know we don't have that argument anymore, but it was at first. We shouldn't have an organ because it was created in the bar hall. But go look at a lot of churches that have organs and pianos, let alone guitars and drums. We take something that was created and we redeem it for a good purpose. We can do that with any day. So if I take a day that you celebrated something and I turn that day into a celebration of something else, I can choose to do that. So just like Purim here was started out as a day that was going to be a day of destruction for the Jews, it turns out to be a day of deliverance. That day that was picked becomes now a day of rejoicing rather than a day that was condemnation. So hope that makes sense, Onesimus. And I love the pushing on that, which is fine. We can talk about those things. Those are great debates. I'm not the skilled expert in those. I have watched people who have spent a lot of time digging into it, though. I guess any day is a good day to show God's love. Absolutely. 2 kittens purring, Purim. Well, that's why I do 12-hour streams on celebration holidays. Giving of time is a gift to. Yes, it is. I don't end up being able to do 12-hour days, but I have started trying to do that on Thanksgiving for sure. Christmas hasn't made it so much. God takes our sinful heart and made it new with the blood of Jesus. Yeah. We can worship God with spoons and whistles. Yes, we can. I hadn't thought about whistles. Use all for his glory. Yeah, you're not going to push. You just wanted to give a counter argument. Yes, but I was also saying is that counter argument, I think, really got headway in the 60s, I want to say, by some atheists and got propagated. But if you actually investigate it historically, not quite the case. But you can also look at, and we got a minute before ad break, so I'm not going to jump into the next one. You can look also, though, at how the Catholic Church, and specifically when they would go into areas with indigenous people and do conversion of them, they would often take and try to take a holiday that was celebrated and turn it into a Christian holiday. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the origins of something being one thing and turning into something else. So then maybe we shouldn't use the internet, because I believe the source and start of the internet was for communication between military. Oh, we shouldn't use GPS. I know that one was also used for military. So those were going to be used and designed for destructive purposes for military communication and precision, orders and those kinds of things to be carried out. So they were meant for destructive purposes. So we shouldn't use them to spread the gospel. It's one of those arguments that people make, and I just don't think I don't really think it matters. All right, we got an ad break, so we're going to fish time. And if you were here early enough, the lake there had the moon reflecting the sun as it was rising. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And it looked like a sunrise instead of a sunset, which was beautiful. Oh, means of communication and holy days are a little different. Fair enough.
Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flatcat Pastor shows the way. Stream it live, come what may. With his cam he shows it all. Little fish both big and small. Life in ponds so serene. Nature's beauty on a screen. See the ripples, watch the flow. Hear the music, gentle glow. Flat cap's charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat Cat Pastor shows the way. Stream it live, come what may.
Should get koi as a command. I should. I don't have it yet, but
Refuse cam
okay.
shows it all.
I'm gonna go here for a second because I want to show you something. Since you were typing koi in there. So I finally got some time. Oh yeah, we're back. We're back. I finally got some time to work on my Stream Deck yesterday. And check out. I did not know I could put GIFs in there. But look at the one for fish. Look, I was working on trying to get that for an emote. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? But Twitch told me it has too many frames. It has too many frames to be able to be a GIF. So it didn't work. And I did not know I could do that. I just picked it and threw it in there, and then it was interactive. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do GIFs. I just thought it would just take it and have it solid. So I was super excited about that. Onesimus, my point with picking on those particular things was they were developed by the military and the military's intention of using them was for destruction. So, yeah, even though if it is communication, it was going to aid them. Got hairs that are just sticking out today. It bugs me sometimes. It was intended to be for destructive purposes. So, yeah. Anyway, and I don't. And well, the other side of that, I'm not telling everyone what they need to believe and or practice. My dad does not put up a Christmas tree. He did when I was younger. Later on, he decided not to do that. He puts up a cross for Christmas. Okay, he puts up a cross, and he puts out, like if you were celebrating Easter, he has a cross with thorns, and he puts the communion elements there, and he does that. I don't remember exactly if it was DARPA. I know it was like for communicating between something within the military, but it's been a while since I looked at it. And then GPS was also, for global positioning satellite for military use, for being able to be better at destroying your enemy and knowing where your troops are. Oh, I'm watching. If you can do that, I would love that. I would love that. If it removes frames, somebody else was telling me that was a thing I should try to do, because I would love to get that as an emote. What I will probably do is, well, I want it for myself. So I was going to say, I'll probably put it on the Koi, but I'm like, no, I want that one for myself. So anyway, Johnny, welcome in. Good morning. Okay. So we've been looking at the Old Testament here, and we got the 3 pilgrimage festivals. I believe there are a total of 7. If we look at Exodus, Leviticus, there are 7 festivals that are mentioned there. 3 are traveling times. Then we have Purim, which is on top of it, which is not a travel one. So we have 3 traveling ones, and we have others as well. Okay, so let's go to the New Testament. I thought I was going to go straight there. Okay. Does it not let me? There we go. New Testament's at the top. Okay. Luke 15, bring the fatted calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate. Okay, I had not thought about going to this one. I love this idea here. Love this idea here. Okay. So, my bias again here. Oh, sorry. I need to go back to bias. Oh, I got the buttons to work. Yay! Sorry. I'm excited I got my Stream Deck back working, at least functionally, partly, that I can push buttons to make things happen. I need to remember that. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Now I just want to keep watching the fish swim in a circle. It's mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing on some level. What's interesting, though, is the tip cap does not continue, over and over and over again. It stopped. It must take more data. I don't know. Johnny, the discussion that have taken place in this channel have strengthened my biblical knowledge and made me a stronger Christian. I am seeing the growth in my decisions and other Christians IRL. Just wanted to say I appreciate all the work you do, Pastor, and chat for engaging the discussion to make it rich and impactful time for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Johnny. I'm going to capture that if that's okay. I'm going to screen capture that too. I'd love to be able to share that, Johnny. Just let me know if that's okay. Let me find. Oh, that's what I want. Wrong place. It's one of those things where, people who will go, well, I don't know if you can, or if this works, or if that's really something that, can you really do discipleship online? Can you really develop disciples online is one of those things people often say. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Then I'll save that. There we go. I'll save that. I'll be able to share that with other people when they're asking me about, yeah, but what can people really build relationships online? Can they really, develop discipleship online? That's the whole point. I mean, why else? Why, like, I wouldn't. I'm not doing. Well, I mean, I'm doing this for fun. It is fun. But it's more than that. It's more than that. It's not only pastors. Onesimus. It might be just other leaders in churches who they have not experienced it, and the reason they haven't experienced it is because the only thing they know is we put our church service on live, and now people don't show up. Well, my pushback to that is always, then you didn't have relationships with them anyway. The only reason they came in person was to get religious goods and services. There was no relationship with those people, and you've given them a better way to receive religious goods and services. Okay? So it's not always pastors, but when I have those conversations, here's the weird thing. Like, we bifurcate, like we forget that this thing over here is related to this thing. There is, I don't think, anyone who would deny there's online dating and you can develop relationships online and you can build a relationship that way. But then they will always, if you bring that argument up, they'll go, but that only starts, and then you have to meet in real life. Ugh. But it all started online. It was all developed online. It wasn't just an introduction. Always. Some of these people live long distances away, and they develop it through video and other things, and then they get together. So you can do, so usually the pushback is you can do consumer things, you can be an influencer, but you can't develop disciples, and you can't develop relationships on some level. And it's like, that's because all you're doing is giving people something to consume, and you're not spending any time and effort in the relationship half of it. So, Onesimus, knowing you and branching out to everyone I know now from you, if that's not fellowship in a small part, being just exactly. Yeah. So really what it is it's a veil that they have not seen past. That's really what I see it as. So when I have somebody else's voice to be able to speak into it and not just my own, there's that. So, by the way, I've got a couple things I want to just talk about before we go into the New Testament here. So tomorrow is celebrating affiliate anniversary, and a couple things I did not share with that. So it says tea party. I'm going to try something tomorrow, everybody, okay? I'm going to try something tomorrow. This is the first time I could do this, and I just thought of it. So I have an electric kettle now to make my tea. I am going to let you redeem a tea for me to make. And I'm going to bring tea down here. So I'm only going to make the minimum amount of tea at a time that my pot can make. And then when I run out, we'll pick a new one to make. So I'm going to bring all of them down here. And part of that is there's a tea that will turn out yellow that we can make. There's a tea that will turn out blue that we can make. We can combine those two teas together, and we'll have a tea that is green. And instead of my mugs that keep my tea warm the whole time, I might have these down here to fill with the extra tea as we switch. I will have a clear glass mug that you can see the color of the tea that I'm drinking. So just a fun thing for tomorrow of, I don't know if I'm going to set it as just a redeem or it's an accomplishment goal. I don't know what I'm going to set it as, but I've decided I'm going to bring tea down here and make tea. So, So there's that. Also, I'm going to talk about the other stuff that I'm launching and doing. I don't have dates on it. So that's Onesimus, where I was asking about your frequent availability later in the day, because I know time-wise this isn't always great for you, where I'm going to be streaming on the Church Digital's Discord, or not Discord, on the Church Digital's Twitch channel, and doing things specifically focused on being a digital missionary. So I'm gonna unveil tomorrow at some point the whole aspect and thought process of being a digital missionary and what that looks like, and sharing that with you. At least that's part of the plan for tomorrow, in addition to all of the other fun stuff going on. I'm excited about sharing all that with you. So if you miss it, it'll be in the VOD. And I'll probably cut that down as a special VOD. Okay. Johnny, at 6:30 a.m., I am not going to meet anyone in person. The stream allows me a few extra hours every day in the Word with my brothers and sisters. I do seek out an in-person worship as well. It's not an either-or situation. It's a give me Christ day situation, day and night situation. Absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing is, I'm not saying that digital is better from the standpoint of being in person versus digital. If you have them both available and there is no barriers between the two of them and you receive exactly the same thing. I'm not saying digital's better, but what I'm saying is digital often offers something that you are not getting in person, and it offers it in a way that you would have to make sacrifices and the willingness and availability. Plus, if you have barriers to in-person, it breaks down those. No, I'm not saying digital only. Now, if you happen to be digital only, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. I like both. And you know what? It gets me excited? IRL meetups. I love... I need to. We've been talking about this term, actually, of thinking we need to switch from IRL, in real life, to in person, because this is still real. This is all real. When I say in real life, am I diminishing this? I don't want to do that. So, in person, yeah, I don't know, IP, does that work? Anyway, need to come up with something for that. Yeah, I agree. In-person fellowship has a lot of good qualities. You are meeting people where they are. Yeah. But a lot of old school guys don't see the people are being saved by it and keeping the word. Yeah, I understand that. And the thing is you need to have a place where you're seeing it. The thing is, a lot of them are on platforms that don't have interaction in the way that Twitch does. So they're not seeing it. They post something on Facebook, and you get the chat that blows up and the trolls that are in there, and they're like, that's not discipleship happening. And the answer is, you're right. You're right. But if you go over to Discord, oh my goodness, discipleship is happening. If you're in Twitch, there's different levels of discipleship happening here. And growth that's happening. Anyway. Had to search them a bit. I forgot to bookmark the site. Oh, did you find it? Oh, thanks. Okay. Anyway, that's enough about stuff going on tomorrow. Let's get into this. So, this is Jesus talking in a parable about a man with two sons. I love calling it the man with two sons, because that's what Jesus says. Let me tell you a story about a man with two sons. Now, in the story, the father turns out to be God the Father. And two sons are going to, in essence, be you could look at it a couple of different ways, I think. It could be the younger son are the Gentiles, and the older son is the Jewish people. But probably not. You could see it that way if you're just looking at the whole of the world. But he's talking to the Pharisees, and the Pharisees are the older brother. So in essence, you have those that the Pharisees are condemning, and the Pharisees being the two. Here's the story of a man named Brady. Jan, is that you? Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. Okay. So I hadn't thought about this one in the idea of celebration, but Jesus is telling this in a parable. Oh, this is so good. Okay. So he's returned. We're not going to go into the parable. I'll get totally sidetracked. But the father said to his slaves, hurry, bring the best robe, put it on him. Put the ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fatted calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate, because the son of mine was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. So here we have Jesus giving us an example of celebrating because of the return of something that was lost, of something being given to us. So, like, man, shouldn't we have more celebrations as a church? Shouldn't we have more things to celebrate than other things? Okay. And then the older brother comes in and argues, and so we get the point again. So he argues, you didn't even give me a goat to celebrate. Then the father said to him, son, you were always with me, and everything I have belongs to you. It was appropriate to celebrate and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found. Boom. Celebration is because of the joy in our heart. Oh, it's so good. That's so good. Now, I don't know if this is a 7-day party. It's a parable. Maybe no 7-day party going on. Just looking in here. Oh, let's go to Revelation. Let me see what Revelation gives us. Revelation 11:10. Let's back up here. Okay, I will grant the 2 witnesses authority to prophesy. That's where we're at. If anyone wants to harm them, fire will come out of their mouths. Ooh, yep. And they'll be prophesying. They had power to turn water into blood and to strike the earth. When they had completed the testimony, the beast comes up out of the abyss to make war and conquer. Their corpses will lie in the street. Yippee! Good times. For 3.5 days, those from every tribe, nation, and language will look at the corpses, because they will not permit them to be placed in a tomb. And those who live on the earth will rejoice over them and celebrate. Oh, okay, so this is not celebration that we should participate. This is celebrating the beast. Okay, skip that. I thought it might have been the witnesses celebrating and sending gifts because of the 2 prophets. Okay. And we got Herod celebrating. That's not what we want. We have Jesus that participates in the festival of Passover here. There we go. That's what I was thinking we were going to go to, the celebration of the Lamb. Okay. Then I heard the sound of a voice of a vast throng. I love that, throng. Like the roaring of many waters and like the loud crashes of thunder, they were shouting. Actually, you know, when I was looking at Stream Deck, I didn't know this was in there. It had some features for adjusting your voice. I need to figure that out so that I can have my voice sound like the voice of 1,000 people cheering. Lucius, reminds me of Jacob when he thought Joseph, his son, who he thought was dead, when he was informed he was actually alive, he must have celebrated that news, even though there was a drought in the land. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So, Part of looking at the idea of celebrating here is many people think about Christians are supposed to be stoic, and even if you look at the pilgrims for the most part, you know, they get presented as this stoic people that don't want to celebrate anything. Yet they celebrated Thanksgiving. They gave thanks and praise to God for the blessings that He had given them. Don't know why, but it sound like you just said Lucifer cleaning out my ears. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Okay. Then I heard the sound like a voice of a vast throng. So, they were shouting, Hallelujah, for the Lord our God, the all-powerful reigns. Let us rejoice and exalt and give him glory, because the wedding celebration of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. She was permitted to be dressed in bright, clean, fine linen, for the fine linen is the righteous deeds of the saints. Then the angel said to me, Write the following. Blessed are those who are invited to the banquet at the wedding celebration of the Lamb. These are the true words of God. So I threw myself down at his feet to worship him, but he said, Do not do this. I am only a fellow servant with you and your brother and sisters who hold to the testimony about Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony about Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So, there will be a celebration in heaven. So, we have the establishment of celebrations with the Exodus. We have the celebrations in exile. and then we can, and we didn't look at it, but maybe it's still there. Well, we have Jesus telling us a parable about God is a God of celebration, and we look at John in Revelation, and in the future, in heaven, there will be celebration. Why then would we refrain from celebrating things God has done? Now, I really don't like celebrating birthdays because I don't think birthdays accomplish anything. I didn't do anything. I'm a day older than the day before. Didn't do anything. I didn't accomplish anything. There isn't anything to remember. If you want to remember something, go celebrate your mom because she gave birth to you. That's it. Otherwise, I mean, and I'm not taking away from anybody that celebrates, but if you want to actually talk about pagans celebrating something, that's what they celebrated, birthdays. That to me is a pagan celebration. So I'm just looking at my cams. My fish cams are all looking like they're frozen. Well, not on my other stream, just on mine. Okay. Don't know why that is. Interesting. Okay. Gift sub here just expired 18 months ago. Celebrate your mama. Exactly. I did nothing on this day. My mother did. So. Oh, 18 minutes ago. Sorry, my brain went to 18 months ago. I'm like, that's a really funny thing. 18 minutes ago. I hate when it expires when you're in the middle of a chat. Donnie, hey, buddy, thank you for the gift sub. Appreciate you, friend. Appreciate you. How you been doing, by the way? We haven't chatted in a while. And I'm watching with the biddies. Thank you, everybody. But we could save those for tomorrow. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. We were at the Celebration of the Lamb, and we finished that. You're doing all right? Good. Glad to hear that. Okay, axe at this time. They made an idol. Okay, we don't want that. Got a bit spam for you tomorrow. Ooh. Third. 3-year affiliate on Twitch. Not sure what you were asking on third there. Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, the teacher, I observed the Passover. Okay, that's leading to it. And continue to the temple courts, blessing God. Yep, keeping track. Okay, yes, third. Third year affiliate anniversary. And Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. Okay, there would be a festival. They came to the feast of dedication in the temple. Rejoice the Lord. Again, I say rejoice. Okay, I guess it's going to be this one. We'll go to Matthew and follow after that. Oh, a series of little bit offerings. Okay. Awesome. Okay. My time is near. I want to celebrate. I want to observe the Passover of my disciples. Okay, let's keep going forward. Here we go. While they were eating, Jesus took bread, and after giving thanks, he broke it, giving it to his disciples and saying, take, eat, this is my body. And after taking the cup and giving thanks, he gave it to them, saying, drink from it, all of you. For this is my blood, the blood of the covenant that is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, from now on I will not drink of this fruit of the vine until the day I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. So, free subs on Twitch total equals 407 plus 1 month bonus plus 2. Where did you find that? Oh, you just keep track? There's not a place that tells you how many you've received? Wow, you've received a total of 407? I've received a lot. I don't know. Since August of 2019. Wow. Okay. I don't know what your practice and traditions are or have been, and they can be different at different times in different churches that you've participated in. I think on some level, we do not do a good enough job of celebrating at the table, of making it a joyous occasion, making it, the remembrance, but a celebration together with it. And I wish we did a better job of that. I really wish we did. How we do a better job, I'm not entirely sure. Because part of people's traditions usually is the reverence aspect of it. And were you to then break out in a party afterwards, it becomes, well, for some, like it diminished what we just did. So I think it's our attitudes on some level that we need to think of it as celebration for what God did, celebration of what he has given us, of remembering those things. The other thing is, we've taken it like these other festivals, and I'm not saying everyone, not every tradition does this, but some relegate it to 4 times a year. Like, we're only going to do this 4 times a year. We're only going to remember 4 times a year. We're not going to do it anymore. We want it to remain special. It's a really weird argument there. A really weird argument. I have not heard that argument about anything else in life, that we should do it less often to keep it special. So, if your favorite food is pizza, are you going to relegate pizza to 4 times a year? If you're married, are you going to relegate expressing your love for your spouse to 4 times a year? When you can answer those 2 questions with a yes and a yes, then I think we should do communion, Lord's table, 4 times a year. Until you're willing and ready to do those other 2 things and say that's the way everyone should do it because we want it to remain special. I'm thinking no. That argument holds no water. Holds no water. So, Supersonic, there's a separate sub-paid gift out of pocket. The others are gifted of me. Oh, okay. Or, sorry, gifted to me. Those were tier 107 to 177. Tier 2 and Tier 3. I don't know if I've ever had a Tier 2 or a Tier 3 sub. Donnie upgraded the PC, got a 380. Was hoping it would have been enough to stream the new game I got. I mean, it was, but had to turn the graphics way down. Going to be going live later, but it's going to be a series of tests. Try to see how much I can squeeze out of a PC. Cool, Donnie. I'm excited for you. I'm excited. That's where it took me a second PC to get the fish cam up all the time. Oh, by the way, like I was gone on vacation. It stayed live the entire time that I was gone. And in the last week and this week since I've been back, like 3-4 times, like after, I don't know, 48 hours or 72 hours, it just like stops occasionally and quits. The one that was yesterday was a slobs issue. So maybe there's something going on with that. It at least had a warning on that one. The others I didn't know. Yeah, Artsy, you agree on the community? Yeah. You've been given 1, 2, and 3 tier before? That's super cool. Then a breakdown of every channel I've gifted to. Dude, that's awesome. I've not kept track of those things. I am hoping if I end up, hoping I end up going to New York with a job, because if I do, there will be my ability to just free will, willy-nilly, give gift subs, and subs to anyone I want without regard to going, well, is this in my budget or not? And give biddies without regard to is it in my budget or not. I'll be able to return to that practice that I had, 18 months ago, or at least for the last year, and this year I just don't have it. I can't do it. In fact, I made this mistake yesterday. So I got 2 accounts. One I can write checks from. The other is the one I use for all my other stuff. I just don't have checks, so I can't write them because who writes checks? But I needed to go write a check to the city to pay my taxes, and I went down and wrote the check to pay my taxes yesterday. And then it came out of the account that didn't have enough money to pay the taxes because I forgot that that's the account that the checkbook is with because I don't write checks often enough. So now I got to go deal with that mess today and transfer money to cover up the issue. So that's, that's what happens. You've been keeping track of doing it. Supersonic, that's a great thought. I don't usually even track my giving. I mean, I will, let me put it this way. My giving, I have a set number that I establish on an ongoing basis, and that I track. Anything I give above that, I don't track. I just give when I feel led to give. If I feel led to give $50 to a cause, I give $50. If I feel led to give $100, I give $100. Whatever I feel led to give at times, I like to just be able to give that, and right now it's really hard to do that. Donnie, yeah, I'm in the market for something that I can turn into a stream machine. If you know anyone who has gotten an upgrade and getting rid of their old computer also does not track my giving. Yeah. Well, Donnie, let me find it here. I thought I had it sitting here still. The specs for my computer that I have. Anyway, I went to ReachCon. Let me see. Do I have a command for that? If not, I need it for tomorrow. There we go. I went to Reach Conference last year, and one of the things they did have was computer giveaway. So these are refurbished computers. After I got it, I did up my RAM because it was having problems. I was trying to use it for my mainstream, and it was just having a lot of processing problems from the standpoint of it would sit not doing anything, and when I would try to start in the morning, it would take a half an hour for it to wake up. It wasn't like I'd go look at what it's doing. It wasn't doing anything. It would say no memory is being used, but it wouldn't let me do anything often. So I switched it over to the Pond cam and stream, and so it's just running over there. But then after that, let me see, who is it from? Christian Tech Center. Christian Tech Center is where it's from. So it's refurbished computer. And So I filled out an application and was able to get that. You have to tell them what you're going to use it for, those kinds of things. Yeah. Yep, born again. Yeah. So, I don't think I have. Okay. So, by the way, another thing I'll be announcing tomorrow is the stuff for Reach Conference for this year will go live tomorrow, and I'll be able to talk about Reach Conference tomorrow and show a video promo of it, which I'm in the promo. I didn't know I was going to be in the promo. I'm in the promo. And if you missed ReachCon last year, you missed the mosh pit. So there's a little rendering of the mosh pit in there that's pretty spectacular. Okay, and if you don't mosh, don't worry about it. Okay. I know we were talking about... Oh, okay. So we're talking about celebrations. Let's just kind of think about this for a minute. So we've got several different aspects of celebrations. We've got the Lord's Supper. We've got Christmas. We've got Easter. Now, there is nothing in Scripture that tells us to celebrate Easter. But given the resurrection and given the Passover from the Old Testament and God's deliverance through the Passover, it is self-evident to me that Easter should be celebrated, because if Passover is celebrated, well, the Passover and the lamb sacrificed and the resurrection of the lamb seems a whole lot bigger deal than the plagues and being taken out of bondage of slavery. Taken out of the bondage of sin seems a bit bigger. We should celebrate Easter. We also celebrate Pentecost. I'm saying the church as a whole, maybe not your church, maybe not you. So we have the celebrations of Easter, of Pentecost, of Advent, of Christmas. In the United States and Canada, Thanksgiving, but some don't like it, don't say it's a Christian holiday. I disagree, because all through the Psalms it says to give thanksgiving. And then also thinking about Epiphany. Some just Epiphany as the appearing of the wise men. They throw that in with Christmas. But if you get to the end of the 12 days of Christmas, that's when Epiphany is. And then the following day is when the Eastern Orthodox Church celebrates Christmas, is my understanding. So anyway, Supersonic. Ads for bits is another separate thing. Oh, yeah. Twitch used to do ads for bits, ended in June 2022. So here and there, Twitch RPG does surveys for 100 to 500 bits. I save them up to give back freely when I can, even if this takes a while. I don't buy any bits, but through this, it's been 48,910 bits. Ooh. Oh, also, by the way, does it track your Prime subs, or does it just get put in with the others? Because please always use your Prime sub, because it costs you nothing. If you have Prime, use your Prime sub. Bless someone in that way. Donnie, to be honest, I think they should bring the ads for bits thing back. You don't have Prime. Okay. Well, yeah, that's fine if you don't. I was just saying, if you do. Oh, keeping track of Turbo. See, I don't have Turbo. I was going to say, you know what, we're just talking. I'm not looking at that. And we're not, unless someone has a passage to look up, I probably won't switch over. I just want to talk about the whole celebration thing and how do we do it. And then whatever side conversations we're having here on giving, which would also be a spiritual gift on some level, but we're not talking about that totally today. For quite a while, what I was doing was giving bits, because the streamer got more from the bits than they would from me doing a sub to them. Like, oh, if I do a sub, they only get $2.50. If I give them 250 biddies, it costs me less. I bless the streamer more. But I love the emotes, so I do both. But on some level, I was doing that, just throwing 100 biddies here and there to people, so that I could join in when hype trains were happening. And you know what? I haven't been in a good hype train in a while. I end up busy and not watching many streams. Although I was doing a lot of Aki and Peach this week or Aki and Fam. I still want to say Aki and Peach. Aki and Fam because they were celebrating 5 years, which is pretty cool. Supersonic. The problem with ads for bits was that it was being exploited. I just farmed when it let me, but ads for bits was US only and only on PC. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I didn't pay attention to ads for bits. I just gave bits. Not quite sure what all that was. So, but anyway, what are things that you think are good things to celebrate? And if you say birthdays, I won't be offended. But what are those things that you celebrate as a family is the first question. And then we'll ask the question. So don't put this in there yet, or even if it's the same, don't worry about it. And then what are the things that you celebrate as a church? Like, what are things that your church has celebrated and those kinds of things? So, and custom chat color. Oh, yeah. Can't you just pick your color? I thought you could just pick your color. Or is that something different than I'm thinking? Sorry, I just saw I had a message. I was checking it to see if it was my wife. She had to go to work today in person, which is not normal. So she's at work in person today. Some colors have been chosen, but not many. Okay. You can pick a few colors. Oh, so there might be some custom chat colors, not the generic ones. Oh. So like I could get this yellow here instead of the orangey yellow that it normally gives me. Okay. All right. So what are things you celebrate, chat? What are things you celebrate? 16 to 20 selected versus 10K. Okay. Ish colors. Yeah. Okay. So about double then. Oh, sorry. 16 to 20 are selectable out of 10K that can be possible. Wow. Yeah, that makes a big difference too, doesn't it? Then I could totally have a unique color if I'm putting in the what is it called? The code on it. There's 2 different codes. I can't remember the names of them for picking specific colors. Ooh, that would be an interesting thing. Anyway, for my family, anniversaries are a big deal. Celebrating anniversaries are a big deal. Why? Because it is an ongoing commitment that you have committed to. If it's a marriage anniversary, if it's some other thing, it's an accomplishment anniversary. So like you graduated and then you have a 10-year reunion, or you have a 10-year or 20-year reunion. My 20-year reunion from seminary is this year, and I'm debating, do I go, do I not go? It feels like a really good way to go and celebrate. So those are all the ones that are default there. Yeah, and I don't see a true yellow there. There's a yellow-green, I think, which, yeah, and a blue-violet, cadet blue. Yeah, the hex number, that's it. I played around with the hex numbers. Oh, man, that was 20 years ago. I was playing around with hex numbers when I had to teach myself HTML coding. And what will it do if I change it to this number? What will I do if I change it to this number? What will I do if I change it to this number? Because I didn't have a code that told me what those numbers were. I just randomly started picking them. And then when I got close to something, I'd just go up or down on the numbers, trying to get them to match something I like. You don't understand hex colors. I don't fully understand them either, but each color has an assigned number, letter, and sequence to be able to create all of those colors. So often organizations will, or logos will have a very specific Supersonic Saber. That is blue? That looks purple on my screen. I would call that purple. That's the violet blue, I bet, then. Oh, Lucis, you have a small Valentine's Day tradition. You buy one helium balloon for each of your 3 kids. Oh, that's interesting. You tend to swap between the 2? Yeah, I don't. I tend to just set it up and I'm done. Yeah, that look gray on your phone. It looks purple on my screen. Yeah, like holiday. I don't know who's calling me. Like holidays like Valentine's Day is, oh, I see the difference now between the purple and the blue. I see it. But I only buy their 2 being together. Yep. You're just showing off. That's chocolate? Man, I would say that's burnt orange. Okay. Nope, still gray here. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, like holidays like Valentine's Day, never really did much to celebrate those. Would occasionally, when I was dating, when my wife and I, we don't do much for that. Occasionally we've done things, but it's not an every year thing. We tend to go, that's an excuse to celebrate. We want to celebrate more often. So we're not doing anything for Valentine's Day tomorrow. I bought my wife flowers last Saturday. There we go. They're almost dead. They won't make it very much longer. But what I often did when I was in college is I had a lot of single lady friends, and I would give them a Valentine's Day card. You don't get cards when you're not dating someone. So I would write a card to friends of mine that we weren't romantic in any way, and I just give them a Valentine's Day card. Donnie, my wife is big on celebrating things. Me, not so much, yeah. Ooh, I like fire brick. That's a nice color. Back to goldenrod. Okay. Cadet blue is all right. I would call that more like a teal, but okay. Okay, so we've got other things. So if we go with Valentine's Day, it is based on St. Valentine, but the celebration is not a corporate celebration, really. It's a romantic celebration for people for the most part. Move to the next month, March, and we have St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is, I don't really do much of celebrating for St. Patrick's Day. But St. Patrick's Day, there we go, green and coral. St. Patrick's Day, we celebrate, I don't even know what the origin, I know who St. Patrick is, but the reason for celebrations of Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day, I don't know the origins of all of those celebrations there. That's an interesting thing I've never studied. But anyway, St. Patrick's Day seems to be a celebration in locations in the United States, at least, where Catholics migrated. So Boston being one of those big places, and Chicago being another one. So there you get St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Those are more community celebrations, I think, than an individual or familial celebration. I like the sea green better than the green. Trying to think what other celebrations we have. 4th of July, spring green. Ooh, that's nice and bright. The celebration for 4th of July is a national holiday celebrating accomplishments of freeing ourselves from the British. So we've got those kinds of celebrations. Just trying to think of others that fall into that kind of like anniversary type celebration. President's Day coming up, remembering presidents. I don't know that we need to have that celebration. I think President's Day came about because we used to have Lincoln's birthday, and we used to have Washington's birthday, and now we put them just into one. All right, no hat. No hat. Fourth we need, yeah. I'm just trying to think through celebrations and the difference between personal celebrations and corporate celebrations. So, what are the corporate celebrations? Close up to, yes, yes. Uh, wait a minute. Where is it? Oh, why can't I find it? I'm not the most organized. Well, it doesn't look like it's open. That's why I can't find it. Okay. 4th is your birthday. Not kidding. Oh, okay. All the way we salt and pepper. Yes. And a little bit of hat head too. Okay. There we go. There we go. Not staying there. Just having some fun. Okay. So we have celebrations, and some celebrations are particular to certain groups, to certain countries. So what do we do as a church? Remembering, I can't believe it's not butter commercial. I whipped my hair back and forth. Mine doesn't whip back and forth. It's not long enough. So some churches do a lot with celebrations of civil holidays, and some take issue with celebrating civil holidays. I don't take issue with it, but I don't want to go over the top. Like, for instance, I don't think the church needs to do fireworks. Let me put it that way. The church doesn't need to do fireworks. But if you want to do a picnic around there, I'm fine with that. I'll be honest, I like flatless cap better. Oh, no. No. There was a bald person in that video. You have not excuse, sir. Well, I have no excuse. Yeah, I'm not worried about covering up because this isn't that I'm trying to cover up anything. This is enjoyment. This is persona. You know, it's just like I have the choice to wear glasses or I can wear contacts. I like how I look better with glasses and contacts. So I like the glasses. I'm used to the glasses. Oh, you meant the whipping the hair. Yeah, he's wearing a wig. I don't think I've ever worn a wig. Blasphemy. So there are some celebrations maybe you don't celebrate in your church. Advent is one of those. Lent is another. So Advent is a season of preparation. Advent means waiting. So you are waiting for the arrival of Christ. So you celebrate that through a series of 4 weeks leading up to celebrating the birth of Christ. The Christmas season, the 12 days of Christmas, were between Christmas and Epiphany. I don't think the U.S. celebrates that much. Most of that is still Europe. And then you have Lent. Getting a haircut while wearing a wig prank. Oh, that sounds fun. You're going bald now, so wearing a flat cap would be an excuse. Yeah, and I know some people that do wear hats to cover up, not because of embarrassment, but because of protection when you go out in the sun, is a real thing. And I know people that get offended I wear a hat indoors, but I'm not outdoors. And I'm not waiting to go outdoors. What sun? Well, yeah, if you look outside right now, there ain't no sun for me either. And I don't know why all my cams are stuck. Let me click on this. They froze for some reason. You love the rain. You got rain over here in Cali? I got snow. 15 seconds left, and then we got 2 minutes left in the ad break, and then it's time for the day. I'm just trying to think about, so Lent. Lent, it starts with Ash Wednesday, which there's also Fat Tuesday, which is the day before, where you You go eat because you're going to give up something for Lent. You're going to go through the practice commemorating the 40 days that Jesus wandered in the wilderness. There's nothing in Scripture telling us to do that, but we commemorate it as we approach what he did for us by remembering what he endured all the way from the beginning of his ministry to the end of his ministry. So we start it by commemorating the 40 days leading up to Easter. And oh yes, by the way, it's more than 40 days because we don't count Sundays, because Sundays are feast days, not fasting days. So if you've ever wondered that, that's why the number is larger. So that's why we start on a Wednesday. Just saying, looking good without the cap. Oh, well, I appreciate that. You must have a lot of food for each fish, for the fish each day. Well, right now, those outside don't need much, but I also actually have to minimize how much food I give because otherwise the water gets bad. But yes, on some level, you are correct. You are correct. Okay. We got ads starting in 45. Why is it not letting me do any snoozing today? I don't know why it did not give me the option to snooze ads today. Weird. Okay, we got an ad coming in. When we get back from the ad, any other thoughts on celebrations, on how we should celebrate? We can look at those. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to give you a BRB because I just closed the fish because they were all frozen. So I'm going to have to give you the BRB, and then we'll come back. You must, Johnny, I've experienced some Christian-on-Christian disputes about getting ash on your foreheads on Ash Wednesday. Ooh, we'll have to take that when we get back. I don't know that debate. Oh, you snoozed it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and is the hat back? Did I miss the hat is back? It should be close to back. I thought we were in a 60-second. Timer's up. I missed it. I was paying attention to other things. Okay. I have never heard it talked about as vanity. I've talked about it. I've heard it people say, it's not called for. Why would you do this? No, it's not only Catholics. It's not only Catholics that do that. Reformed, Presbyterians, and it's not all. So probably all Catholics do it, but when you get outside of the Catholic Church, I'm guessing Episcopals all probably do it. Anglican, depending on country, all do that. Lutherans do it. What? Gleeful Sheep, thank you for the raid, friend. Thank you. I guess we're gonna need to go to the raid. We're gonna need to go to the raid. I got 15. I can play with here. Welcome in, Gleeful Sheep. They're playing exclamation point. Okay. Kishu, hey, welcome in. Thanks for popping in. So it didn't tell me what you were doing. Oh, there we go. They're playing. Oh, Kishu. They're playing Fortnite. Okay. Kishu was. Gleeful Sheep, I don't know if I know you. Welcome in. Did Kishu recommend, or did you know me? Glad to have you over here. Thank you, Raiders, coming in. We're just finishing up. We were talking about celebration today. Why and how we should be celebrating the celebrations that we see in Scripture, and then those that we might practice in our families, in our culture, and also our churches, and when and how and where those overlap. So we're just talking about Ash Wednesday for a minute, and not heard that being vanity. So Johnny Darko, if you can say more on how it's vanity, that doesn't make any sense to me either, that it's vanity. It's going back to the whole sackcloth and ashes and mourning and realizing our humanity and our limited, that we were dust and we're going to return to dust. So I don't know how you could make an argument of it being vanity. So, okay. Just missed him without the hat. Yes, you did. You did. Okay. So, yeah, you missed it. So, I do stream Reading in the Bible Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, starting at 7:45 EST. that's the main thing that I do here. Tomorrow we will be doing celebration for. Why did that go away? It disappeared on me. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know why it disappeared. There we go. Tomorrow is a 3-year Twitch affiliate anniversary tea party. So we'll be doing some fun things for that tomorrow. This is a place where everyone is welcome. We read the Bible and we talk about it and we engage it together. And so that is what we spend time doing for the most of it in the morning streams. I have other streams at time where I play games. I do other things. Tomorrow we'll be doing some other fun things. Also, by the way, I have a bunch of really, really bad jokes that I'll be doing tomorrow. You can redeem those and we will tell a bad joke. Puns intended. Trying to think of other things. Oh, I do have separate fish channel, by the way, and Discord channels, just like most streamers. But my fish channel, you can go over there. And in the summer, I got waterfalls. Right now, I don't. I do have underwater cam. And so you can see the fish here, the fish that are behind this, the fish that are over there, the fish that are over there. A look at Lake Superior. So we do a lot of different things here. Occasionally, we do games. We'll probably do some Marbs tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do other games. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Like the riddle book. Oh, so Gleeful. I had to buy this a few years ago when I found out I could get access to it. That is the riddle book that I had as a kid. And my mom threw it away at least 3 or 4 times. I would go to throw something away in the garbage and find my book in there and take it out. And then she would find it again and throw it out. And eventually, she did something else with it, and it disappeared forever. So, I'm looking forward to that. Hey, love you, Onesimus, man. Hey, sunshine coming in. Okay, we're going to go raid out today. Thanks for coming in with the raid. We were just getting ready to raid out. I've got gatherings. Oh, did you add an answer there, Johnny? Not saying I agree with the argument, just mentioned the point. No, I just wondered if you understood how they were arguing it's vanity. The only thing I could say, is it's vanity because you walk around with it the rest of the day. But what it's doing is it's identifying your frailty as a human being that's finite. I don't understand how that's vanity. A cross necklace being vanity? Okay. You sent me the list. I haven't had a chance to look at that. I've been really busy since I got back from vacation. So I don't know if that will happen tomorrow or not. I'm watching. I can't promise that. Oh, yeah. You'd say at most Isaiah when Israel was using it incorrectly. Yeah, if you're doing it to... Okay. I can see it from that standpoint of when you're doing your fast to be noticed by other people. Yes, if I'm going and getting ashes so that I'm going through the motions so everyone knows I went and did it. Okay. That I could see vanity. Thanks, Gleeful Sheep. That makes some sense to me. Check out the bottom of the list. I only have 5 through 7 so far. Okay. Andy, good morning. We're just raiding out. I'm just going to go look for someone to raid here. I've got my Thursday 10 o'clock. So... Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Finally, oh, sorry, missed that. Finally was blessed with more sleep today. Oh, well, good for you. See ya. Yeah, oh, that's good for you. I'm so glad that you got some sleep. Oops, not what I wanted. Okay. Let's go over to Kanosh. If you don't know Kanosh, I do not know whether he is Christian or not Christian, but he is a fun streamer, and he does music, and you'll have fun over there. And he is safe. He's going to love on you, and so I trust him with all of you. All right. Let me send you off with a blessing. May God's seeking comfort find you. May his loving arms bind you. May his might protect you. May his wisdom direct you. May the joyous love of Jesus Christ be with you and all those you know, both now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you, everyone who was here. I appreciate all of you being here, hanging out with me. It is a blessing to do that. Thank you all, and I hope to see you tomorrow for celebration for Streamiversary. Yes, I need to get better credits. I know. Sorry that you had to raid, and then we raided
Flat cap on his head, he's streaming live. Reading from the book, the word so alive. A prayer in his heart that lifts the soul. In the digital world where spirits roll. Hallelujah, from the screen we scream. Join the pastor in the holy dream, spreading